Hello, good morning. This is Mary Hernandez with Genesis Kingdom. So we're going here in continuation and to help you understand the Bible a little bit more, be able to get the understanding. Because I think by now we all know what wisdom is. Wisdom is knowing the truth, right? Doing what's right, you know. I asked that same question, but biblical speaking, it means doing what is right, teaching what is right. You know, we all know that. We read in the Bible. In life, we also apply it to our lives. But as well, what is the best way to say? Getting the understanding of it in the Bible and biblically what it speaks. Without the understanding, you know, we could read it and read it and read it, and we're like, God, I don't get it. I'm doing everything you asked to do, and it seems like I'm just at the same spot that we were at. But it's because we didn't have the understanding in the Bible, and I didn't. And I want to help you, and what helped me evolve in my spiritual gifts and with the power of the Most High God. Throughout the Bible, she tells you it's Mother God, it's her daughter. It's mother and daughter, it's the Holy Trinity. It's not Father and Son. Never was. That was made up. That's all. And I've proven it over and over again. But I want to help you get the understanding metaphor what the elements mean in the Bible and how it does talk about the ungodly, no-name demons. So we went from the Sumerians to tell you about the Sumerians' pagan gods. I talked to you. I haven't done the strange language, but it's in there. The spiritual awakening. We did the beta, you know, and the beta is almost like you're starting to evolve, waking up your brain, right? And then I did the Greek alphabet that explains a little bit more depth in what the elements mean, if that helps you even more. So, gray matter. Okay, the only time that I have heard gray matter, I'm not going to share too much in it because this is not about me, this is about the Bible. Gray matter, there was a situation with someone, right? And was going through some stuff, and this person ended up going to the doctor, and they ended up saying there was white matter in her brain, and the white matter was a lot of brutal attacks that she went throughout life, physically, brutal attacks, and it's almost when you stop oxygen in your head. So that's the white matter I knew that I knew about. But what does that apply to the Bible? Well, how does that mean? And does this talk about gray matter in the Bible? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I'm going to take you into some definition of the Bible as well, backing up Bible verses to help you understand and get the understanding in the Bible. So, I don't own the rights to the music, but I'm playing music in the background. So I just have to say that. Okay. So the Bible speaks also about atom, right? A-T-O-M. And if you remember elements in school where you were taught in science, so what does it mean biblical? Okay, so it talks about atom, A-T-O-M. It's the ultimate invisible particle of matter. Okay, an ultimate particle of matter is not necessarily invisible, but a molecule, right? So what is the definition of an atom? An atom is a particle matter of uniquely defines a chemical element. An atom consists of central nucleus that it is surrounded by one or more negative charge electrons. The nucleus is a positive charge and it contains one or more relative heavy particles of the protons and the neutrons. And biblical, what it's speaking is about your brain, right? We have gray areas. You know, we go to sleep, we become as we're getting older, because this is what we thought it means, gray, hey, we're getting gray area, it's in there. But it's more than that. It is a lot of, throughout the Bible, you read about how people in the Bible had bad that happened to them in the Bible. They became Mara, they went into a deep sleep, they gave up, the archer was shooting arrows at them, and it's kind of like a broken spirit, like a contrite spirit. You actually end up giving up, and you give up the ghost. Basically, that is what it means. And does it say it here? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. So it says about the negative and positive. It's almost like you're putting, to try to charge your battery is the best way to say it. So you can get negative and you're going to get positive. You're either going to turn Mara, or you're going to sit there and do your spiritual awakening, is in a sense what it speaks. So then it says, what metaphysical meaning of autumn, right? Metaphysical meaning of autumn, it is one of the small parts of which a physical quantity is built up. It's almost like quantity over quality, right? You want to have quality. You don't want to have quantity. You could have many so let's just put this in an example. You could have many friends. You could, but you rather have quantity. You want to have a value in a friendship. You want to have a value in the call with the Most High God. I'd rather have quality, quantity, than quality. Then you could say, well, I have a lot, it's a multitude. This is how I see it. Many people could say, well, I have 300, 4,000 friends, and I'm not talking social media in general in life, but you're also going to cherish, I'd rather, there's dime a dozen, but I'd rather have one that is going to be valued more in friendship or in a relationship with the Most High God. Quantity over quality, that's all. That has it in there, so I just thought I'll say it. So metaphysical meaning of autumn is one of the small parts in which its physical quantity is built up. You want to build up, quantity. You want to value. You want to sit there and build up value, rather it's in a friendship, rather it's in life. Number one, the relationship with the Most High God, right? So a particle charge is a tremendous energy that may be released and may give to another man's power beyond expression. So again, this brings us where we were building up our energy, right? And this is where the Bible verse tells you, you got the lilies of the field, they grew, they were growing, but they weren't toiling. And it tells you that in the Bible. So, and what was it? Because we were still spiritually asleep. We still hadn't gotten the understanding in the Bible. And let's keep it real. That was so true. So true. Okay. So what is it called in autumn? The word autumn is derived from an ancient Greek adjective automos, meaning uncuttable, invisible. The earliest concept of nature of autumn, it is debated in ancient India, ancient Greece, that we know that autumn has a nucleus composed protons and neutrons surrounded by the clouds of electrons. So once you get to know the Bible, okay, clouds and windows, there is no windows in heaven and there is no clouds in heaven. Meaning is metaphorical speaking. If you sit there and you put a man, I call that Bible study windows. If you put a man on the throne, brothers and sisters, you put a king on the throne, you put father and son, you put a cloud. You end up shutting heaven down when we're not hearing from the true creator. Anything that you bend your energy, your aura, your divine energy with the power of the Most High God, your meditation with the Bible, you were giving it to other pagan demons. So it looked like he was evolving. It looked like he's strong, and it looked like, wow, hey, these people are prospering and I'm staying the same. Well, why do you think? Because you were idolizing, you were causing a cloud, and heaven shuts down. Heaven shuts down. Okay, so this is what, once you learn the Bible and it all makes sense, you're kind of like, oh my goodness, Yeah. So, the atom maze material, right? God and the electron, right? So it brings us to Ecclesiastes 3:11. Seen him, Christ. He has made everything beautiful and at his time. And he also said, it says, eternity in the human heart. Yet, no one can fathom what God has done from the beginning to the end. All right? From the very beginning, as you read in the Bible, they really changed, brothers and sisters. From Genesis 11, when the kings of the east came in, and they changed the whole language of the earth, right? It used to be mother and daughters. Daughters were the first fruit that was ever born in this world. Then, when the kings of the east came in and they built up a man, a king, a father, a son, this is where Nebuchadnezzar made an image of himself and a decree. Everybody must bow down to me. I'm God, I'm Father, I'm Son, High Priest, all that. And it's all in the Bible. So, as we're reading and meditating for the chosen vessels, when there was the awakening that we got sent in, that heaven opened up, and the real chosen vessels, okay? You got that the pagan world also sent his people in, that they go in there 40 days and 40 nights. That wasn't of God. That was that the pagan world sending spies in there. They're called spies or whatever. Pagan gods. Scabies. So, really, he was framing his work through the Word of God, putting his framework, and then you got the true creator in the Bible. That's science, pagan, but they don't say it. They don't say science did that. Science did not do that. And it was a pagan world, and we did not know that. This is the reason why I started off with the Sumerian, to help you that it is in there about the ungodly, no-name demons, because they're not gods. They're no-name demons. Heavenly. All right, and then it brings us to Ecclesiastes 8:17. I said to myself, God will bring into judgment both righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge in every deed. Okay? At the end of the day, sisters, when all this comes to pass, it's not a father. Get that out of your head. It is not. That this is the whole doctrine. That's the harness system. That's the beast system, and that's what they were building. And this is what we were building: an empire for the darkness. We were setting ourselves up without even knowing. Without we might have had the wisdom after. For some of us that came out of a sinful world, that we were in Egypt when we went into captivity. And then we came out, Egypt came out of us, but we never came out of Egypt. And that's the slave mentality, right? We were asleep. We went to asleep to the lying doctrines. It's all in the Bible, brothers and sisters. Everything. From the time they started it, it's not Abraham. It is not Sarah. They're not. These are people that are Chaldeans, Hellenists. It's all in the Bible. Acts 7. When we went into captivity. Start it. Read it. Read it. The only thing is that these people forgot, but because of the lying doctrines, it stood the foundation up until the truth came out. Once the truth came out, it started crumbling their whole little pagan world that they had built up. Right? And we never came from Abraham and Sarah. That was all a lie. It was our mother from the very beginning. This is the children that are born of the Spirit. Get it? They come from the heavenly queen, our mother. Birth us, birth this whole world, birth this her nation from the very beginning. Now you got Abraham and Isaac and all them from Acts 7, and then go and read Romans 7. It'll tell you they're not. Brothers and sisters, these are the people that have preached God, Father, Son, He, and we went into captivity from the foundation of the world. So does this Bible speak the truth as far as when everything changed for the trajectory of the world? Yes, it did. It's in there. From Acts 10, you go read Acts 11, it tells you from the kings of the east that came in, and they changed it to Babel. And it changed the whole trajectory. The whole language of this whole world was here on earth. We're not from out of this country, out of this state. We're here in United States. It's our land, brothers and sisters. And you had invaders that came in a long time ago and were changing the language and the trajectory. All these were pagan gods. All these, I should say, pagan demons that their belief system, brothers and sisters. Some people are just born evil. Some people were raised in that with different idols from the very beginning. You know, we were raised that way. Nobody has really even bothered to go in there and preach the truth. This is where she tells you in the Bible, it's like here a little, there a little, you know, but never nothing. The truth, and never, without us getting the understanding. In the Bible, we would have kept going in circles, except that gate is going to get shut. And then what I'm talking about is the gates of heaven. Right? So to get into the gates of heaven with the God of the living, with the land of the living, was with the truth. And the truth will set you free. We weren't with our God that we should have been from the very beginning, my sisters. We never were. This has happened since the beginning and the foundation of the world. So let's get back into this gray area. And I also did one of it. So we say we could never find out all that God has done. I like what Einstein said, that it would be enough if we understood. And it, like, all along, you got our God that has always been there was pushed to the back, and then you got the pagan that built them, that they call him God, which he's not God. But in their sense, they say, oh, what our God has done. You know, well, he did nothing. All he did was tainted the Bible with his framework. And Hebrews 11 tells you that. He built his framework. And then in there, they left the word of God, because you have to speak it into existence. So when you're doing that, it built up his kingdom, because we were idolizing no-name demons. So in a sense, we build it. So when they tell you that you're getting states and cities and vineyards that you did not build, bullshit. Our ancestor did. Blood, sweat, tears, ripping and sowing. Get it? We earned that. Our ancestors earned that, brothers and sisters. They suffered. You read throughout the Bible, the hell that they went through. We earned it. And all we had to do was seek the true living God and prove ourselves to the Most High God. Not to all these pagan gods. They've never done anything to you. Anything for me. For me, for my mother's children, you read it up until now. Brothers and sisters, it's their inheritance, our inheritance. And these people with those lying doctrines, you read it. They go in there and they take it, they steal, they spoil, they rob. It's all over in the Bible. This people is not theirs. They could sit there and try to floss whatever it is they had. You stole it. It's not yours. And you will lose it. You will lose it. And I prophesied in the name of Jesus, because it wasn't you. It wasn't yours. From the very beginning, it said they spoiled and they plunder my mother's children. Listen. And then have the audacity to look down at you, knowing that you're nothing but a den of thieves. And you are. And this is exactly what she means. It's she, not he. When it says you turn my house of prayer into a house of den of thieves. She wasn't talking about them gambling outside. The only gamble they did is gamble with our lives, with their lying doctrines that could have sat there and saved millions of people, brothers and sisters, that were going into the church to get saved. And these people made money, and they sat there and sold us out. And you had nobody to sit there and preach you the truth. Why? Because they would sell out. They would get paid. Preach me as God. Preach me as King. Preach me as this. This is why they had mega churches. And who was giving them the money? You were. Because you were going to the church to go get saved, not knowing that these people had pagan demons that they were praying to. Okay. So what do you mean by electrons? An electron is a negative charge, subatomic particle that can be either bound. Get it? It's either going to bound you. Are you listening? Give me a minute. Get it? You're going to go on through a bondage. Get it? Sorry. Give me a minute because I went up a little to see something. Yeah. It's either going to bond you to an atom or free. No bound. Get it? It's either going to throw you to a bond. And what are they? What is it that we've been doing in the elements? Get it? I'm going to make up this atom, and this is hydron. I just can't think of some elements that they had built up. You know, proton, neutron, neutron. So this is the neutron. This is the God that invented neutron. This is the God that invented Mercury. This is the God that invented Venus. All that, lies. All lies to keep you in bondage. And so it's either going to bond you or it's going to set you free. And people think it's free money, that is free. No, get out of that. We're talking about a bondage. Get it? That we were all in under the elements and the tutors of the world. This is what's going to set you free, because we were in bondage under Hagar and the whole BS system about made up